Now, how to construct Voronoi diagrams? For example, let's start with the 2 points. If I have two different points and the edge which divides them into into the regions, into the cells, is always, it passes through the midpoint of A and B, and it's always perpendicular bisector of AB. So how we can find equation of these lines? Actually very simple, like finding the perpendicular line. Let's give a coordinates for this one. Let it be 1 and 2, and let be this one, let's say -1 and 4, for example. And if you want to find this edge, this line, first let's find the midpoint. The midpoint will be, if you remember the midpoint, the average of x's and average of y. So x1 and -1 plus -1 divided by 2, and average of y is 2 plus 4 divided by 2. So it will be actually 0 and 3. So this line passes through the point 0 and 3. To find the equation of the line, I need a point and gradient. To find the gradient of this line perpendicular by 0, I have to first find the gradient of AB. If you can find the gradient of AB, the multiplication of these two gradients will be always -1. So what will be the gradient? 4 minus 2 minus 1 minus 1. So it will be 2 divided by -2, so it will be -1. So the gradient of this perpendicular one will be 1. The gradient will be 1. So equation of this line will be, as we know, mn plus c. So it's actually x plus c. So how to find c? We know it passes through these points 0 and 3. If we input instead of x0, 3 plus c, so c will be 3. So equation of this perpendicular line is y equals to x plus 3. So we find the midpoint and draw a line which is perpendicular to the gradient AB. Now if we have 3 points, let me try to explain the idea. If we have 3 points, how to draw the regions. Actually in paper, if they won't ask you to construct it because it takes time. Instead, what will you do? You will try to find missing point based on this idea, and or maybe missing edge. So let's try to find, let's imagine between A and B, not good straight line, between A and B, it will be, the line will be like this, okay, and between A and C, let's say midpoint of A and C is here, and if you draw the line which passes through the, sorry, it must pass through this point. Okay, let me try to draw quickly. And between which ones? Between B and C, let it be midpoint here. And if we try to draw the perpendicular bisector, which is not good drawing, okay, it will be, let me try to draw from here. So these 3 lines. So the regions are here. So some regions, some lines, parts should be clean. This part should be clean, right? And between A and B, we said it's black, so we clean this one, and yes, that's it. So here we have the region. Clean all of these. We have 3 sides and we have 3 cells. So this is the cell A, cell B. If we try to color it with different ones, different colors, let's say, it's how we construct. If we input 4 points, we do construct like this. So let's try to see some questions, some problems about this one. For example, the Voronoi diagram is given. There is a missing edge. Complete each diagram and find the equation of each missing edge. So let's try to find the missing edge. So I have how many sides? 4 sides, A, B, C, D. Between A and D, I have the edge. Between B and D, we have the edge. Between D and C, we have the edge. Between A and C, we have. Between B and C, we don't have the edge. So between these 2 points, the edge is missing, so we know how to find. First, we need to find the coordinates, so it's 3, 3, and for C, it's 1, minus 5. And first, we need to find the midpoint. Midpoint will be 2 and minus 1. Then we find the gradient. Let's say gradient of BC. The gradient of BC will be then minus 5, minus 3, 1, minus 3, minus 8 divided by minus 3, it's 4. So the gradient of the perpendicular will be, let me indicate like this, minus 1 by 4. So equation of the line must be like this. So y equals to minus 1 by 4x plus c. Then we have the point we need to plug in to find the c. Instead of x, we have to input 2 equals to minus 1 plus c. So c will be equal to minus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2. So equation of the line is actually minus 1 by 4x minus 1 by 2. This one is correct, but they won't in general form, so we just need to collect all of them in one side. And if we multiply all of them by 4, it will be 4y plus x plus 2 equals to 0. Now, next problem, if we are looking for the missing side, we have ABC and we are missing one side, which is here in this region, in this cell. So where it is? So this side is between C, okay, let's call it X, let it be somewhere. It's between C and X and A and X. So what's the idea is? How can we find it? First, we need to just construct the line. Let's find these two lines. We can find them. Let me choose different color. We can find these lines. After we find them, we will just find the intersection point. This intersection point. We will have two equations, simultaneous equation, and we find this intersection point. So we know how to find equation of these lines because we know their gradients. Let me just find this. Okay, let me call it line 1. Let me find this one, and the rest I will leave it for you. Line 1. We have the point on it. What's the point is 3 and minus 2. Okay, and I need the gradient. How I can find gradient? Actually, from this edge, which divides these two sides. This gradient and this line and it must be perpendicular. And if I know this, the edge which is given, the gradient of this one, I can find gradient of my line. So the gradient of this edge, we need only 2 points. Let me select 2 points here, the known points, and the point is minus 1 and 1, and this point is 0 and minus 1. If we can find the gradient from there, 1 minus minus 1 divided by, let's call it gradient of, okay, let's call it gradient just, which is perpendicular, 1 minus 1, and minus 1 minus 0 will be minus 2. So the gradient of the CX will be 1 by 2. If we know the gradient, we can know the line. The line will be 1 by 2x plus c. I have the point here. If I just input it, 1 by 2 times 3 must be equal to minus 2. So minus 2 minus 3 by 2 must be equals to c. So c is minus 7 by 2. So my line, the first line, is actually y equals to 1 by 2x minus 7 by 2. As you can see, kind of takes long time, but if you have enough practice, the idea is simple. Again, we'll find the second line also, and to find this intersection point, we just need to solve simultaneous equation.